Okay, so now I'm going to talk about Tell Me an Ending by. Wait, what is the author's name? Tell Me an Ending. Joe Harkin. I listened to this book last year and I just borrowed it from the library. Libby is such a game changer. If Libby wanted to sponsor me, I would be so up for that. But anyway, I loved this book and I've been telling everyone about it and literally no one cares. People are like, okay, Allison. But no, it was so good. And what I liked about it a lot was I totally picked this book just because of the cover. The cover is so pretty. The book is about set in this time, but there's been a lot more scientific advancement. So even though it's set in 21st century, it's way further ahead than we are. And basically you have the ability to erase memories. So if you have PTSD or you cheated on your husband, something like that, and you just want to forget it, you can do that. And so the book delves into a few different stories, a few different perspectives, some people who, because you can also, oh my God, I'm so all over the place with how I'm explaining this, but you can erase your memory and know, you can remember, okay, I had a memory erased, I know that I saw a shooting and it traumatized me and I just removed the memory of the shooting. But then you can also do self-confidential, where you don't even know that you ever erased anything. And so the book follows some characters who are self-confidential, some who aren't, and one of the characters it follows is also a woman who actually works at the clinic that does the memory erasures. And it's so interesting because it delves into how does memory work? How much of an impact does it have on who we are? And what are the ethics of deleting something like that? Are you lying to yourself? Is that fair? And I just loved it because that's not something I would ever have organically thought. I do think about perspective of memories, how me remembering an argument versus the way the other party remembers the argument, and how, of course, we're going to be biased to thinking that we were right, and we're going to see the other, and every time you remember something you remember it differently. Apparently, I didn't know that. What's even real? So I love that book. I might say that that's my favorite book, even though that's a question I have a really hard time with. But as far as science fiction books, maybe I would say that's my favorite science fiction. No, but that's not true, because the Expanse series is so good. But as far as, I don't know, it's definitely my top 10. Let's just say that. But I would really, it was so interesting. I felt like I learned a lot about the way the mind works and what, how do I want to say this? It made me think about my interactions with people a lot, and it made me think about how even things that you forget can have an impact on your perspective and the way that you see things. I just thought it was so cool. I definitely felt like it had an impact on the way I think about things and the way I interact with my memories and the way I think about my experience of things. I feel like I'm really conscious now of when I'm doing something that I feel like is memorable. I feel like I make more of an effort to make a snapshot of that moment and appreciate it. I don't know. I really liked it. And I like listening to books like this while I make art because it puts my brain in this mindset of creativity and analysis that I think helps me feel like I'm making something that I will always appreciate. And it also helps me critique my own work, if that makes sense. Because I'm in this mindset of like listening to and analyzing like what I like and dislike about what I'm hearing. It also helps me artistically, like what I like and dislike about what I'm working on. Like right now I've decided to make the hair really dark, like way darker than the skin, even though in the reference photo the shadows blend so that her hairline isn't really discernible. And I questioned like whether that was the right thing to do, and then I've decided that it's totally fine because there are no rules. It doesn't have to look like the reference. And I mean, I can't say for sure whether that's because I'm listening to such a thought-provoking narration, but I think it does keep my brain in that headspace, because I have noticed that if I'm watching or listening to like a comedy while I'm working, I don't analyze as much. Is that just a me thing? I don't know. I didn't even really become aware of this until I was working on the same drawing, but I was just watching Scrubs, and I was just way more cavalier with my line making. And then when I came back to it, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? There were some inconsistencies, but I'm sticking with them. But isn't that interesting? So that's my video on Tell Me an Ending. If you read it, tell me. I think you should. I'm going to continue to convince everyone I know that they should read this book unsuccessfully, because I don't think a single person has, and that's no shade. Reading is a lot of time. Even audiobooks. I think it was like a 12-hour audiobook, so I don't know, but that's out there. Boom. Okay, bye.